Hello, everyone. Today I thought of sharing with you all why your life birth story is a fiction. I know this is a very bold claim, and yet, what if that is the truth? Like 12 years back, if I heard this, I would not believe either. But I had an experience where I see that for myself that your birth story and at the same time, the entire life story is a complete fiction. But in this case, when you say the birth story, like that I born in this particular year and I have the birth certificate to prove you, this is like a big root in this reality. I remember when I started questioning my birth, like that was a huge root. I feel like that is like a one root which we are rooted in this illusion. And when we take out of this root, it feels really, really scary. Because those are the places that you're grounded in this life, in this illusion. And when these are being uprooted, it's quite disorienting, I'm telling you. But what if that is the truth? What if that is what's happening? Everything that you've ever heard about your birth, that you born on this year, and your mother is this person, and you born on this hospital and this place. None of these things you know for yourself. All these have been told to you. How do you know that happened in that way? For yourself. That's the key, I know that if you have done hypnosis and you can go back and look at it, but I'm telling right now in this state of mind, how do you know? In this whole spiritual journey, one thing I did is I started questioning everything, everything. From the beginning, everything about myself, my family, my surrounding, my environment, the university education, and the entire society. I started questioning because I always felt there's something off about here. And when I started questioning everything, even my birth, your world starts collapsing. And my spiritual journey was like I had these mini deaths over and over again and I went very deep gradually. And then suddenly in 2019, with the spiritual awakening, I saw what's truly going on. But before that, when I'm uprooting my birth and all these places, I felt quite disoriented and scary. And what if we start questioning this entire thing? Because only way to find out who you are in this life by questioning who you think you are right now. And this and this birth story also gives you this self. But in reality, there's no self here. What if we start questioning what is obvious? Just like a fish start questioning what is water, because that's the most obvious thing for the fish, which that would never question what is water, because it's always there. Just like that, what if you start questioning what is obvious? Yeah, I born in this year and in this hospital, and this is my mother. Yeah, it's all obvious. What if we start questioning even the obvious? What would happen? I know these things are not easy to be done. This is like this is like you are like literally the word would be like you are just dismantling yourself, which is like you are just little by little releasing yourself. And that's a scary process. But that's the only way for you to come to a real knowing of who you are. Now, everything that you think who you are is just all knowledge, everything borrowed. I am this person and all that is. What if I tell you that, like, you born and someone just did a memory implant and says that you are this person, and like, okay, let's take an example. Okay, there's a man who is age 33 and his name is Bob, and he born in, like, let's say, China, and he born in a particular hospital, and all that is. What if that whole story of him, he has a mother and a father, and he has one sister and one brother, and he went to a particular school, which is an international school. And then in that school, he got bullied and all that things happened to him. And then he just went to the next level of the high school and then to the university. And likewise, his entire life story. What if the time that he born was completely everything being implanted to this particular memory of this whole story? I mean, when you say in that way, because actually that is what's happening in the movie Total Recall 2012, which I recommended many people to watch, because for that person, when he realized that his memory was implanted, he came to a place where now how does he know who he is? Because he can no longer rely on his memories. How that? And just like that, if I ask you, how would you rely on your memories? What if none of those things really happened? What if your entire life story is just an imagination of you, which is similar to a hallucination? It's exactly what's happening. But how many things has happened in your life? And I come and see none of those happened. How can anyone believe that? What if that is the absolute reality? Not exactly, but at least which is closer to the truth. Because you can never tell that in words. How can you talk infinite in words? Words are quite limited. To remember your birth story, your parents, and whatever you are identified in this life are the roots to this illusion. That's how this whole illusion keeps alive through these roots. And when you question these roots and when you uproot them, it feels very scary and disorienting. And that's what I did. And it's like murdering yourself mentally, psychologically. And is that easy? Not at all. But what if that is like, because I had a intense curiosity when I went into the not knowing of who I am, to figure out who I am. And I came to such an intensity that I didn't care about anything. I came to such a place because when you go into not knowing of who you are, you become really curious now. Then who am I right now? I feel like there's something in here. Then who that is? We never ask these obvious questions. Who am I? That's the key question you can ask yourself. And one more question would be, where am I? Am I here? Am I in my degree? Where am I? Am I in my thoughts? When you start questioning like this, your mind would not be able to find a place to hang on to. And your mind goes nuts. And when your mind goes nuts, that's a really good sign. Because mind cannot stay in the uncertainty. Mind needs certainty. Mind needs knowing. That's why I constantly ask, move towards the unknowing, move towards the unknown. That's the only way. Because when you are in unknown territory, mind cannot function there. Because mind need a known territory in order to operate. That's why when a client comes to me for coaching, what I do is I constantly take them into the not knowing or unknown territories. I would say unknown territories. Because each time they step into unknown, their mind can't operate there. So going back to the topic, your birth story is an illusion or a fiction. I'm telling this literally, this is the truth. Not only your birth story, but the entire life story itself. Only when you see that for yourself, this illusionary nature, only then the value will drop for that life story. Because you have invested so much in this life story. So just because I come and say that that's how it is, that doesn't really hit you until you see that for yourself. And once you see that, desire to maintain this whole self drop like just drop instantly. Because you see that there's no self to begin with from the very beginning. It was all our creation. We believed and got identified with this self so much to a level we didn't know any other way because that's how everyone else lives. But how do you know everyone else's reality? Even that is your imagination. You think the other person must be living this reality. That also just your imagination. You think this is how other person must be thinking. That is your thinking, not other person. There's no one else out there. But in this illusion, everything is happening just like that. Just like in the Matrix movies, when you go inside the Matrix movie, there's a matrix is happening moment to moment. And when you look around, like everything happening. Of course, in the illusion, everything is happening. That's why this whole thing is such an masterpiece. So I highly suggest you to start questioning what is obvious in your life. Even your so-called birth story, your life story, and your entire identity itself. And when you start questioning these obvious things, your will start collapsing. And when that starts happening, you will feel scared. And it's scary. And then find someone whom you can really talk to and guide you through this whole journey, because it's about going deeper and deeper and deeper. Because once you go to a certain extent, you can never go back to where you were before. That's how this journey is. That's why, like, you need to be prepared what you're signing up for. Because I am not telling this is an easy journey. No. And this is not even for everyone. This is, I believe this is for a very few courageous souls out there who need to see their true reality, their true nature. I don't know what else is more important in this life other than seeing your true nature. What a tragedy there would be that someone died without even knowing their true nature, without even knowing who they are. I believe if someone truly loved themselves, that's what they would do. I know this whole, what I'm sharing is quite parallel, because I said in the beginning there's no self, and then I talk about self-love. That's how it is. The entire journey, like whatever I share, would be paradoxical. Because it's a duality, talking about a duality, like talking about oneness in words. That's a real challenge. That's why, forgetting the words, you need to connect with the energy behind that words, and that's the way to go. And that's what I did with when I went through my journey. I connected to that energy behind the words, because energy can't lie. Because this every word that someone talks, there's a power within that there's an energy within that. And when someone talks the truth, there's a power in that words. There's energy to it. And that's why one time I was listening to someone and she was talking about her journey and her awakening story. And while I was listening to her, I got goosebumps. That is my bodily reaction, that what she talks is my body reacted to that energy. And that's a sign that she's talking the truth. So connect to that energy behind the words. Make that as a guidance and start questioning the obvious. Thank you.